So I did a mock interview with the students on this channel. The visa officer asked a strange last question, and that is one of the reasons why I'm making this video. Now, the second reason I'm making this video goes back to a concern that she raised during our mock interview. Her sister is a US citizen, and she was worried that might hurt her chances.
My sibling is a citizen, but just moved to the US in around like 2021.
Focus on your why and go and be yourself. The most difficult aspect was the funding. Now you find out that the visa officer actually asked about her plans after her studies in the US. This is actually very important for her to prove her ties. The first part of this video is about her visa interview experience. The second part is my mock interview with her. Before we dive into this success story, please make sure you subscribe to the channel if you are new here. Give the video a like if you find it helpful and share your thoughts or questions in the comment section below. So the interview began with an exchange of greetings between the visa officer and the student. The visa officer then asked for the student's I-20 and passport. Then the visa officer looked at the student's document for a brief moment and asked, "How many schools did you apply to?" The student replied, "I applied to 3 schools." Now, to the visa officers, applying to between 2 and 5 schools is better and suggests that a student was selective and intentional. Applying to too many universities can make you appear desperate to go to the US, so you have to check that. So, as the student was about to name the schools, the visa officer repeated, "3 schools?" Then the student replied, "Yeah, 3 schools." Then the visa officer said, "Okay, why did you choose the University of New Hampshire?" The student replied, "I chose the University of New Hampshire because it is home to the Center for Coastal and Ocean Mapping, a globally recognized research center. It also has active faculty doing work in my areas of research, which are seafloor characterization and coastal resiliency." Now, clearly, this is a good answer as she highlighted the university's strengths and faculty's expertise in her area of interest. By doing this, she showed her genuine interest in the program. Also, she didn't just say the faculty are doing work in her areas of interest, but she actually mentioned her research interest. This is very important and reflects specificity. Before the student could say more, the visa officer asked the next question, which is, "What is ocean engineering?" The student replied, "Ocean engineering is the branch of engineering that applies engineering principles to the marine environment. It involves designing and using equipment like multi-beam echo sounders and remotely operated vehicles to map the seafloor. It's used in offshore exploration, setting up oil rigs, and also in coastal management and mapping." Now, this detailed explanation of ocean engineering illustrates her knowledge and expertise in the field. You cannot hear such an answer from a student and think she's not a legitimate student. This is the kind of student who are definitely going to the US to study and make a difference. So at this point, she had proven that she's a legitimate student and she has genuine interest in the program. But this is one of the 3 aspects of the visa interview. The visa officer didn't ask about her finances because she's fully funded with no deficit. But she has a sister in the US and now she needs to prove her ties to her home country. That is the only thing that is left at this point. So the visa officer said, "Okay." Now, according to the student, while she was answering, the visa officer kept steady eye contact with her. And even though she was nervous, that actually helped her. Then the visa officer looked back at her screen. She was silent, and then the student didn't try to interrupt. According to the student, she just let the silence sit. Now it was time for the visa officer to explore her ties. So the next question was, "Have you ever been outside Nigeria?" The student replied, "Yes, I have been to Rwanda in 2023, South Africa in 2017, and Ghana in 2011. Then the visa officer said, "Okay." Again, the visa officer was looking at the student while she answered the question. She was probably looking for anything that would suggest the student was lying. So anything here includes the student avoiding the visa officer's gaze, a drastic change in the tone of the student among others. Now, even though the student has been outside Nigeria before, this doesn't sufficiently prove her ties to her home country, especially given that she has a sister in the US. Let me take this moment to appreciate my channel members. Thank you very much. If you are a subscriber, thank you very much as well. You guys are doing a lot for me. If you are learning something from this video, consider giving it a like. It helps the channel so much. Alright, so the visa officer asked again, what are your plans after graduation? The student replied, I plan to return to Nigeria as an ocean mapping specialist with Category A certificate, which is internationally recognized as the highest standard in the field. I intend to work with the National Hydrographic Agency when I return. According to the student, she was going to say more, but then the visa officer looked away and started focusing on her screen. The student wasn't sure if the visa officer wanted her to continue, so she stopped. In my opinion, you have to say everything that is going to help your case as long as the visa officer is looking at you, which means they're actually looking for more. However, if you answer with your strong points and then the visa officer is typing, you should probably stop and look at him or her. Visa officers are human beings with different personalities. Some may prefer long answers, while others just want your answers to be short and straightforward. So you just have to know the visa officer you are dealing with. Now, this answer is a very strong answer and clearly outlines her post graduation plans. She was very clear about what she will gain from the program and how that will help her career. She was also very clear about the career she wants to pursue after studies, which is an ocean mapping specialist. This was important because it showed that despite having a sister in the US, her plan was to return to Nigeria after her studies in the US. Then came the last question, which is very unexpected. So the visa officer said, have you ever been to Gaza? The student replied, no, I have never been to Gaza. According to the student, after the visa officer heard her answer, the visa officer picked up her passport and placed her I-20 inside it. Then she wrapped them together with a rubber band. Now, when the student saw this, she started thinking maybe things were going well, but she remained neutral. Then the visa officer picked up a white sheet and said, I am placing you on administrative processing. Then the student said, okay, can I ask how long it will take? Then the visa officer responded, maybe a few weeks, maybe longer, we'll see. Then the student replied, okay, thank you. When you watch the mock interview, you will see that she was just too good and she was going to be approved. Administrative processing usually relates to background checks, sometimes due to a student's field of study, financial documentations, or travel history. STEM programs like ocean engineering can trigger security checks. In the mock interview, I even told her she's the first student I'm interviewing who is going to study ocean engineering in the US. Now, you have to understand that administrative processing usually means visa approval as long as you presented credible information and documents during the visa interview. The verification process can take a few days to several weeks. It just depends. In her case, it took just 3 days. So, yeah, that was good. The next part of this video is a mock interview with me. I hope you enjoy it. Consider subscribing to the channel if you haven't done so yet. And I'll see you in my next video. Okay, Judy, so what are you going to study?
I'm going to study a master's in ocean engineering at the University of New Hampshire. I'll be specializing in seafloor characterization and coastal resiliency.
Okay. Um, why do you want to study this program?
I chose ocean engineering because Lagos faces severe coastal erosion of up to 5 meters a year in some parts of Lagos. So during my undergraduate studies, I had classes in hydrographic surveying and coastal mapping, and these highlighted the crisis that we are facing currently. So I want to study ocean engineering so that I can develop practical solutions to address these problems that we face here in Nigeria through advanced hydrographic surveying and advanced ocean mapping techniques that I will learn.
Okay. Sometimes I listen to the questions and sometimes I listen to the answers before I give my opinion. But this one I just think. So why don't you just start by saying you want to study this program to develop practical solutions to, I don't know, um, ocean erosion or whatever. So what I'm trying to say is that you started by saying in Nigeria, ocean, so many things, right? Why don't you go straight and say, okay, I want to study to develop practical skills in this, in solving the problem, that kind of thing. You understand what I'm trying to tell you? So more like
Yeah,
switch
yeah.
those positions so that the visa officer hears the first line and it's like, oh, okay, this makes sense. I want to solve this. I want to learn practical skills to solve this particular problem. Then you can explain what the problem is. Okay, so that's what I'm trying to tell you.
Okay, yeah.
I've never had anybody on this channel going to study ocean engineering, so that's interesting. Okay, but then what is your current job?
Oh, okay. I currently work as an intern at a pharmaceutical distribution agency, a pharmaceutical distribution
How
company.
long have you been doing the work?
Since I graduated, that was in
When
October 2024.
when you graduate, are you not required to do NYSC? Is that how they call it? Are you not supposed to do that?
Yeah, but I got the job before I finished, so I just started working
So
then
you ran
basically.
away from NYSC.
No, I'm not. I'm not. You can like start your NYSC while you're already working, so you can just continue from that.
Okay, so that job is your NYSC.
Yeah, more or less, yes.
Yeah, then instead of saying you are intern, you just say you work there because yes, it's a job. Because intern is not really doesn't sound good to me personally. If you have graduated and you are an intern, for me, my ears, I'm like intern. You're probably trying to get something, just say something. That's what I'm thinking. That's how I'll interpret it.
Mm,
But if it's an intern and it's like NYSC, then yes, it's a job.
okay.
When I was in Ghana, we call it national service. When I was a national service personnel, yeah, when I was going for my visa interview in 2016, I stated that I'm a teaching assistant. So you have to state who you are, okay? And
Oh,
then
okay.
you have to be very clear about your responsibilities. This is very
Okay.
important.
Why I say that is because that's the actual job description. Like that's my actual title at the office.
Yes, yes. Every national service in Ghana, national service is for 1 year. 1 year, then you are gone, or unless the company wants to retain you, which is fine. But yeah, don't use the word intern.
Okay.
Say you work there, because
Okay.
if the embassy wants to verify that information, they can verify that okay, you actually work there. That's all. Because I'm just thinking, intern doesn't really. Yeah, I would just rather go whatever. If so, like I told you, I was a teaching assistant. So when I was applying for the visa, I said I am, or I was a teaching. I stated I was a teaching assistant. So in your case, you have to state who you are. You can say you are an engineer or whatever. You have to state that. Does that
Okay.
make sense?
Yeah.
Is that job related to the program you studied during your bachelor's degree for your
Uh,
bachelor's?
It relates in the sense of I apply data analysis skills to it. So I analyze our pharmaceutical distribution supply chain and things like that, and our operations
Okay.
data. But in direct relation, no, not really. It's just the data science part that aligns in both my courses. But for what I'm going for, I'll be applying those data science skills to my research project that I'll be taking because it involves
Okay.
Bayesian inversion and machine learning.
Okay, it is important you try and merge them in a way to make sense because the visa says they are looking at genuine intention, genuine motivation in a way, and genuine motivation comes usually from your background related to your current job and relating that to what you are coming to study. That helps a lot. If there is a disconnect, then it doesn't mean you'll be denied, but it can put everything into question. But in your case, if I'm not correct, I think you have funding, right? You have good funding, so that
Yeah.
that means you are not real. They are not going to disturb you actually.
Okay, so
Um.
my current job does not align directly, but my undergraduate studies is directly related to what I'm going to study. And I just
Okay.
graduated, so that's why like I'm going directly from graduation in November to I already started applying by then before I
Mm.
even graduated.
Yeah, it's fine it's fine because it's not it's more like NY because it's NYSC, so it's fine. I think it's okay. It's okay. The most important thing is that your undergraduate degree relates to that. You've not finished school, for years, and so it's okay. I think it's fine. Okay, so you talked about research. What research are you hoping to do?
Okay, my research focuses on using sonar data and machine learning to better understand how our seafloor and how we can improve it. So I'll be using data from the NOAA. Then I'll also be using Bayesian inversion and machine learning to predict the characteristics of the seafloor. In turn, predicting coastal erosion and how we can prevent it. So I'll be applying that to our Nigerian coastal systems when I return.
Okay, so but why don't you study the program in Nigeria?
Okay, because the US has advanced research collaborations. For example, my school UNH collaborates with the NOAA, so I'll have access to state of the art labs. and also equipment. So I'll be able to put into practice the things that I'll be learning. And all those all those equipment and things are not easily accessible here in Nigeria. So over there, I'll have access to those things that I can easily learn from
Mm,
and apply
okay.
here.
Okay. How do you have at the school?
I discovered this school online. I was researching top ocean engineering or marine science programs that specifically offer a CAT A certificate, which is a certificate that is internationally recognized and shows highest level of technical proficiency in the field. So, University of New Hampshire is one of them. So I became interested in that, and then I submitted my application materials to the school.
Okay. So who is sponsoring your studies?
My studies is sponsored by the Center for Coastal and Ocean Mapping, which is a which is a top research center that is housed in the University of New Hampshire. So it will be fully sponsored and covers all my tuition and living expenses.
How did you get the funding?
Okay, I started by researching the program. Then I submitted my application materials, which were my SOP, my IELTS score of 7.5, my letters of recommendation. And afterwards, I had a productive interview with Dr. XXX. Then he confirmed that my interest aligned with his and that of the research center. Shortly after, I received my funding letter and my admission letter, and I accepted.
Okay. So in your first semester, do you know some of the courses you are going to take?
Yes, I'll be taking compulsory. I'll have two compulsory ocean seminars. Then I have the option to take courses in coastal engineering, underwater acoustics, and I also have geodesy as well to take.
Hmm. Okay. Yeah. Everything sounds good to me. So yeah. Good luck to you. Okay. Do you have any question?
No, okay, yeah. I
No.
have a sibling in the US.
Okay.
I have a sibling in the US, so
Okay.
uh,
You're worried about
we
it.
don't. Yeah, I'm worried about it because
Your
of the
your
home
s-
ties.
mm, your sibling. When did he or she go to the US?
My sibling is a citizen, but just moved to the US in around like 2021. So, and it's my
Mm.
younger sibling.
The person is your younger sibling. So
Yeah,
okay. Because you brought so how did your sibling become a citizen and you are not?
was born there.
Oh, okay. You were born- Okay.
Yeah,
Mm. Yeah, it's not a problem. Just I mean, just go and be yourself. So where is your brother? Where is which state is he in?
oh, okay. My sister is in
Oh, your sister. I don't
yeah,
know
yeah,
why I
yeah,
was saying
yeah, yeah.
brother. Okay, your sister. Where is she?
She's an undergraduate student at one of the State University of New York schools.
Okay,
She's
New York.
currently
Okay,
yeah,
New York. Yeah, just it's fine. The visas are sometimes if it's the same state they can but just you have funding. That funding is a proof that a U.S. institution believes in you so much that they want you to come and not spend anything while you study. So that is a big deal. That is a big endorsement in a way. So in my opinion, yeah, you'll be fine. Okay, it doesn't matter. Just focus on your why and go and be yourself. The most difficult aspect was the funding. You being able to get a funding solves everything. Okay, most of the time people without funding they are the ones in trouble, but you having funding, you should be fine. Okay.
yeah. Thank you, Shai.
Yeah, and also Nigerians in the recent weeks, a lot of them are put on administrative processing. I've come across a few of them.
Yeah,
I don't know what's going on, but they just want to verify everything, and with your funding, everything, you should be fine. Okay, don't think about it. Okay,
yeah. Right.
yeah. So good luck to you.
Thank you.